Let's go. So, oh my goodness. We are in a lot of let's go. There's so much to break down. It was obviously a lot of fun actually getting to go to the game. And look, give Arkansas a lot of credit. This is a game that matters a lot to them, the Battle of the Golden Boot. And this game, for the most part, has always been competitive. So, this is something that a lot of you have complained about, is how soft we actually play our coverage, okay? So we're just letting them essentially play pitch and catch right here to the outside. And yes, you're not giving up explosive plays, and you're forcing them to convert in the red zone. But what I will say to that is it also gives them rhythm, right? And LSU of old did not play as much soft coverage as LSU elects to do now. Our 3rd and 5, and we elect to get in our pass package. So Harold Perkins comes in, to the jack linebacker position. We sub some linebackers and linemen out to get, more DBs on the field, including Sage Ryan. And this is a 3rd and 5. God, this is just really good stuff right here by Harold Perkins, okay? The first thing is, yes, he is a contained defender, but he sees that KJ is starting to cut to the inside. KJ presses this and bounces. Perk two-gap this pretty well going up against a bigger player. Now that he's bouncing, we just need Greg Penn to step up and make this tackle. We want a big-bodied quarterback to be going this way instead of vertical. So this was really well done by Harold Perkins. Then he's able to, shed this block and get in the mix. Whit Weeks, another really good performance, and we force him to punt. So right here, LSU gets their first lucky break of the game, and it's honestly the very first offensive play of the game here for LSU. So we get a miss right here from Will Campbell on the left side. I think he thought Mason Taylor was going to at least get a piece of Landon Jackson here, and Will just completely, just kind of whiffs Landon Jackson right here. Still, all right, that's just a small part of this play. Where the football should be going is Brian Thomas Jr. This is an RPO read. Jaden's job is to read this linebacker. If this linebacker presses towards the line of scrimmage, he should pull it and throw right here to BTJ, okay? And what does Jaden do? Well, he pulls it, and BTJ runs this route perfectly. You just got to throw it, okay? It might get batted down, and he decided to not throw it. I'm a little shocked that Landon Jackson was late here because this should have been a strip sack, okay? He did not swipe his arm. If he swipes his arm, he's probably stripping Jaden before that ball is even released. And because he's getting hit while he's throwing, and because he pumped it, this ball is still short-armed, right? He doesn't actually get hit, and it's still, kind of a low throw to the inside. All right, so this was a legendary game right here by Malik Nabers, and this was also a drop, but it was also a bad throw, and part of the greatness of Malik Nabers right here is he actually gets hurt on this play. So last week he banged up his shoulder, and you could see right here he came up very gimpy. He's got to catch that. It's still not a good throw. It's low, bang, right on that bad shoulder, and you could tell he is in pain. So Malik is playing through it, right? Shoulder pain like that just doesn't go away, but by pure adrenaline, he was able to, move on. All right, so this is a benefit of playing so far back, okay? So Andre Sam sees pretty quickly that this is going to be some variation of a screen. He sees this, not a screen, but kind of like a quick throw out here to the wide receiver. Look at how fast he gets downhill right here. KJ throws a high, bad ball, and look at that. Bang! Okay? You can't play DB better than how Andre Sam is playing it, y'all. Let's go. Okay? So what LSU likes to do with Harold Perkins here, I know some of you just want him to just rush off the edge, but they actually do something very exotic. So they're twisting him all the way around. This linebacker is blitzing behind Harold Perkins, and all we're trying to do is just collapse the pocket, okay? Just bull rush these guys back into KJ Jefferson because we were able to get a lot of sacks versus BYU doing this very thing. The mistake here, I believe, is somewhat Mason Smith. Okay, so Mason's been getting doubled a lot lately. We got Mekhi Wingo going up against 75. Okay, so we got 5 going up against their 6. Okay, somebody is going to get a double team here. And Mason Smith is the guy who gets the double. All right, Harold Perkins is the contained defender coming around here. And all we want Braden Swinson to do is just collapse this pocket all the way in. So where is the mistake actually made? So right here against a dual threat quarterback with 3rd and 10, and especially if we're blitzing and playing essentially man coverage behind it, it is so important that somebody just sit in the middle at defensive line. And I think at this point, if I'm Mason Smith, I don't want to get upfield. I just want to sit right here. So if for some reason KJ decides to start running, I could just fend off this player and at least slow him down. But Mason going up against this double team swim moves, and he kind of takes himself out of the play. All right. This showed up on tape that their offensive tackles cannot hold up against a bull rush. And guess what? That's exactly what happens here. This pocket is collapsed. The issue is, number 1, we don't finish. Number 2, Perk kind of just ran himself out of the play right here. Sometimes he doesn't do the best job of reading, a rush lane. So if Ovie Agufu has outside leverage right here, I say Agufu, this is Braden Swinson, stop, okay? Because he's got the outside edge. We want you to cut in right here to not just run yourself out, and we don't have a point guy just staying in the rush lane. 30 has to run with the the running back here, and now he's able to just have all this green grass to run through. Okay, so our pass rush lane integrity got a little out of sorts, and of course, if it's that much space, all you can do is hope to slow him down some. I do like this hustle right here by Mason to try and chase him from behind. But still, this is an explosive running play. And if we're going to play man coverage behind it versus a dual threat quarterback, you must keep your pass rush lane integrity. 3rd and 4, this is just really good offense. We elect to play zone. I think right here on 3rd and 4, you can't just let a guy get a free release and just sit and play pitch and catch. This has happened a lot with the Madhouse defenses. Just so many 3rd down conversions where it's just, once again, pitch and catch. Should Andre Sam have been pushing downfield a little bit earlier there? Maybe so. I'm not so sure. But still, we just don't want that. It's just too easy. All right, if you're an Arkansas fan, you already know this. This is the unluckiest just sports program in the SEC. This just makes you question everything. So this is absolutely perfect play design. So you're slipping the tight end, and guess what? LSU is in man coverage across the way, and Major Burns has to get all the way over here on the split zone tight end leaking out here in the flat. Okay, good job by Savion Jones, who was unblocked on this play, to make this a difficult throw for KJ. And I want you to see this other angle just to see how close this actually was. Okay, watch this. All right. The ball is caught, and this forward momentum is right here. Okay, but because Major Burns is right here, Haas elects to bring the catch in, which is a smart thing, and Major Burns saves a touchdown. Big play right there. So it's 3rd and goal. There was a false start penalty right here, and this wasn't going to work anyway. Good fill by Whit Weeks, and Savion Jones makes a really nice play. All right, so remember this play. God, this was really good stuff right here by Mike Denbrock. We motion Malik as the slot receiver, okay? Dwight McGlothern does not follow him. So Jaden knows that this is more than likely zone coverage, and this is an excellent quarters beater. Now, why is it a good quarters beater? Well, it's because this vertical route by Chris Hilton is going to carry this corner. It's also going to carry this safety. And then what we're going to do is we're going to chip right here with Mason Taylor, and he is the new flat defender. All right, so Jaden's job is actually very simple, okay? His job is to read this nickel defender. If he sinks back, he is throwing this ball to Mason Taylor. If he jumps to the flat, we know right here that if he lets Malik go vertical and the safety decides to stay with Malik, guess what? Malik has leverage on the safety. And if the safety decides to go with the vertical with Chris Hilton, guess what? Malik is going to be wide open, all right? This is just an excellent design right here by Mike Denbrock. Really, really, really good stuff. So Jaden sees that the flat, that Johnson is getting down to the flat, and obviously Malik Nabers is going to burn Hudson Clark, their safety, and this is just not a great throw. Once again, Will, not the cleanest start for him, a little leany if you ask me. It's not the worst rep. Obviously, you would like Jaden to step up into this pocket, but this throw is just not that great, okay? If you hit Malik in stride, bang. Okay, Clark is not even close to him. He's probably getting upfield, and he might be scoring. All right, so that missed throw leads to this interception. Okay, this is just not good quarterbacking by Jaden. Okay, kind of a weird set right here. We're in empty with trips to the left, tight end, and there's another receiver right here. So Jaden predetermines right here that this linebacker has inside leverage with Mason Taylor. He is predetermining that Dwight McGlothern is running with the go right here. So he sees that this linebacker can't get over the top of this flat route, and all Dwight McGlothern is doing is just reading the eyes of Jaden Daniels. Obviously, Jaden is just staring this thing down, and this is just an easy interception right here by McGlothern. Okay, so another reason why this was easy for McGlothern is he didn't respect that this was a running back, Logan Diggs, right here at the bottom of the screen. So, you'll see it right here that you see McGlothern, he's just jumping all over it because he didn't trust that Jaden was actually going to throw this football to Logan Diggs at all. So McGlothern gambled, and it paid off, and he makes an absolutely massive play right here. This is really good stuff right here by Aaron Anderson. Obviously a step in the right direction this game. You could just kind of tell that this slot corner has inside leverage on Anderson, and Anderson is running a slant. So this route has to be really good, and it was. Okay, look at this route. Bang. Okay, he's able to create that separation, open the hips of the DB, and because he created all this separation, the ball being behind him didn't really matter, okay? We could have had BTJ right here too, but I like seeing Jaden read this inside out, and that's a really good catch by Aaron Anderson to pick up the first down. All right, so Jaden takes a sack, obviously, to start the second quarter. Charles Turner just gets beat really badly right here, and, the only type of pressure even a quarterback is mobile as Jaden can't escape is just direct A-gap pressure. And could he, in theory, have hit Chris on this drag? Maybe. You're just not getting anywhere at this point, and you just don't think to get beat that bad right up the gut, especially if it's not a blitzer. On the very next play, this was one of Jaden's worst misses of the night. Okay, this is his first read the entire way, so he knows he's going to BTJ right here. All he needs is his safety to just take himself out of the play right here to Mason Taylor, and he does just that. We got him beat. You just got to throw it. And you see BTJ's got his arm up in the air. You've got to throw this ball out, okay? That just can't get put right here, all right? This is a good job by 15 to get back into it. Could BTJ have still made this play? No. 15 was able to catch up. This ball has got to be out right here, okay? If you throw and you allow BTJ to run underneath it, it's a touchdown, or at least a very deep play into the red zone. All right, here we go. It's 3rd and 11. And, I think Jaden makes a mistake here. Kyron Lacey's running the go kind of clear out route. They actually double Malik with a safety and a linebacker right here. So his linebacker was at the line of scrimmage. Now he's Chris Paul. He's now running with Malik. So now that's covered. Okay. Obviously, Jaden wants to go to Malik on 3rd and 18. That's his guy. But once again, BTJ is right there. Okay. Or if we hit Mason Taylor right here, this is 10 yards further down the field. Not the best decision by Jaden. I do like a check down here on 3rd and 18 to make it a semi-manageable 4th. But another miss for me by Jaden. All right, so Brian Kelly elected to punt on 4th and 11 from the 39-ish yard line. And you'll see right here, Arkansas, we aren't able to down the football inside the 5. We barely missed it. And they pretty much gain all the yardage back. In that situation, I would just keep my offense on the field. And if you do want to punt, just hard count it. Obviously, Major Burns got juked out of his shoes. And there you go. Just in one play, they pick up all the yardage and then some. I would hard count. And if it doesn't work, just take the penalty, and that gives you more room to punt the football to where you're not punting it back into the end zone. So now I think that was one of BK's biggest mistakes in this game. So now they got really good field position just off of one play. We move ahead to the 2nd and 2, and yeah, Denver Harris had kind of a tough game overall. Obviously not the best from our defensive line. I mean, we're just getting pushed out of this hole. We're giving ground. And, God, this is just a really good play by Denver Harris to fill this run. But Arkansas, really controlled the beginning portions of this. So Arkansas drives all the way down. Little jet sweep motion right here. A tight end slip. And everything's just covered. Love this hustle right here by Womack to not fall but get back into it. It's a little shocked that KJ didn't try and run this. Okay? You just kind of throw it away, a very conservative look at it. And yeah, good defense by LSU on the back end. Andre Sam and Zy Alexander. All right, so this is a Florida State play all over again, right? Trips to the right. They're obviously playing very high safeties. And this safety just kind of sinks all the way back center field. And, God, we just blocked this to perfection. Okay, we get exactly what we want to. A linebacker that's blitzing off the edge. He kind of takes himself out of the play. So, in theory, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys going up against their 4. And one of their faster guys have already taken himself out of the play. And this is just free yardage. Okay? Now, something else that was really good to see on film is 28 for Arkansas. I believe this is Jaheim Thomas, a transfer from Cincinnati. His eye discipline is brutal, okay? I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know why he decided to go with Jaden on this fake, because that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility here is just the running back. And you see, he actually went with Jaden on the fake. Okay, got a little lucky that 28 just kind of took himself out of the play. So now it's Josh in a foot race. One-on-one versus a deep safety. You just got to make a miss and you score. Good job by the safety, obviously. All right, so we get to this 3rd and goal right here, and they bring everybody. So you see it's man coverage across the way, and we're trying to run what we had open versus Florida State. So the job right here for Kyron Lacey is to fend off this player and kind of screen him. And then obviously BTJ run open underneath behind him. Corner does a good job just working over the top of this and just missing Kyron altogether. And it's not there. And even if it was, the blitz just got there just way too quick. In theory, we don't want 13 to go free right here. This was a good pickup right here by Josh, but someone's just going to be open, and nothing was open here. It's a good sack right here by Jaden. I do want to bring up, I did see this from my vantage point. You don't get an extra replay. At least I don't think you do. Mason Taylor did end up being open in the back right corner in the end zone, wide open in the back right corner of the end zone right here. But Jaden didn't really have time. Maybe reset your feet and throw it. I mean, still, if you're under that much pressure, you just got to eat this sack and settle. 3rd and 8. And, God, I've run out of words to describe KJ Jefferson, okay? There's nothing I don't think was open. All right, so words, I'm out of them to describe KJ Jefferson. We bring an exotic blitz, and we actually get some pressure from Mason Smith and Greg Penn, and guess what? KJ just steps right through it, okay? And instead of just taking off and running, we had a spy-ish jack here with Ovi Agufu. I say Ovi Agufu, Braden Swinson. So KJ just kind of pump fakes and just kind of waits for Armstrong here, his receiver, who wasn't even, part of the progression really. He just kind of just gets open, and they're able to pick up a first down right here. Really, really good stuff right there by KJ. So they're driving down the field. Really good RPO right here by KJ. He sees that this safety has creeped up just a little bit more. And now, guess what? They had a good run on the play before. You just play pitch and catch right behind it. Okay? He's able to hit Armstrong basically in stride, and there you go. So we get to the touchdown here versus Denver Harris. It's a 6'6 player. No safety help over the top. Teams are just going to keep attacking in the red zone Denver Harris. You've got to get your head turned right here, and it's just he doesn't even try to, okay? It's with some pass interference, and it's a good tutty. So we get the football back, and this honestly is just typical Jaden Daniels, right? He could struggle for a first half, but then he's just amazing at the end of the first half. He has been so good at this at LSU. Running Hoss Juke, this was the only miss. He probably thought Malik was sitting, but on Hoss Juke, your job is to sit and then cut towards the middle. And, man, thank goodness this ball is low right here, because that could have been a pick going the other way. So, obviously, we want to hit Malik on the juke right there, and that would have been a big gainer. All right, 2nd and 10. This was caught by Brian Thomas Jr., but honestly, this is all Malik Nabers, okay? Here he is in the slot right here, and look at how far back these safeties and DBs are, okay? They're in this kind of 3-safety look. They bring the nickel right here for the deep third, and Malik draws both of them just on this vertical, and this is honestly really easy for Jaden to read, okay? He knows that Malik is probably not going to be open, so he waits for BTJ on this dig. Will Campbell just pretty much dominated Landon Jackson all night, and BTJ's hit in stride, and that's a huge play right there. All right, you can see Dagger work really well. So the go route right here, and you're running a dig behind it, okay? There's 2 safeties right here with Malik. Hit this dig right here, right in stride, and bang. Good throw by Jaden. This was definitely one of Mike's better games. Mike Dimbrock, the offensive coordinator. This is coming out of a timeout, and God, this is just so freaking good. Okay, so the motion right here with the running back, and I get asked this sometimes, why does LSU sometimes have a running back as the furthermost receiver? Okay, 2019 LSU actually did a good bit of this. This is a linebacker who's wearing, a DB number 27, Chris Paul. So they're communicating this, and it's man coverage, okay? So once Jaden sees that the linebacker is all the way out here with the running back, all he's got to do is a little bit of process of elimination, okay? If this safety, who looks like he's playing a hole defender, is going to be right here, and we're running some vertical right here with Malik, he's more than likely going to be holding this safety right here. So Jaden, just by process of elimination here, can see, bang. All right, he kind of already knows what he's going to do with this football right here. Okay, he sees that the safety is center field to help with Malik, and so he knows he's going to go to the slot go, if you will. And it's not the slot. Malik's the slot here. But this receiver on a go. Okay, it's late. My brain is fried. I'm not using all the correct terms here. This is just very easy right here by Jaden to see this. And he allows this to develop. Could this have been thrown a little bit earlier? Yes, it very well could have. Was this ball behind Malik Nabers? I said Malik Nabers, Brian Thomas Jr. Yes, it was. Really rough day for 15, the 5-star transfer from Georgia. And this is a really good finish right here by BTJ to score and just to make sure he actually gets into the end zone. Good stuff. All right, and you can honestly just see it from here. I want you to see the safety just biting down right here on Malik. He's only looking at Malik Nabers, okay? That's how much coverage he actually draws. God, this is such a good play right here by BTJ. The ball was slightly behind him yet again, but BTJ was just burning 15 all night long. All right, so this was good to see Harold Perkins get a sack. I want to see what he looks like as an every down jack, just to give it a look. But this is just, vintage Harold Perkins, the ghost move, and he's able to just bend. And this time, this is just a really good job using this left arm. Bang, to just swipe that elbow right there. It's just really good stuff. And we're able to get a sack. And it's also fumbled. Yeah, this is just so freaking incredible right here by Logan Diggs, okay? This is called creating a hole, all right? Right here, this doesn't look unbelievably well blocked. Now, what I want you to do is watch him give a little juke with this right shoulder to force this linebacker to bite to this gap. Because you see Logan Diggs can see that 28 Thomas is doing a good job filling right here. So watch him just give a little shake. See a nice little step right there? That forces Thomas to cut this way. And then he's able to get vertical. You see Thomas is looking this way to see if he actually went through this hole. He didn't. He went straight up the middle. That is excellent running back play right there by Logan freaking Diggs. Yeah, I mean, it's practically the same thing as the Florida game last year to Jeray Jenkins, all right? Get an offsides, it should be an automatic go. And once again, it's 15, all right? I guess he had the flats. Jaden isn't looking over here. And he eventually gets all the way over to BTJ right here. Is it late? True. It is late. It's also very underthrown. So BTJ has to wait for it again. And look at this job. Fighting through the pass interference. Then catching it. Making 17 miss. And then one final time juking 15 out of his shoes. What a play right there by Brian freaking Thomas Jr. So Arkansas drives the football down the field. This is just an amazing play right here by Whit Weeks, okay? He shows that he's blitzing this A-gap, but he's actually blitzing the other one, okay? And now the running back here actually sees it pretty well. So then Weeks cuts back to the inside to make sure 20 doesn't get a clean piece of him, and he's able to still get pressure right here on KJ Jefferson. KJ was amazing. This is a really, really, really bad sack. You right here just have got to throw this away. And he just decides to eat this sack right into Mekhi Wingo. But that was all Whit Weeks right there and some really good coverage on the back end. The crowd noise, I know it's cliche, but the crowd noise really forced Arkansas into some bad spots. They had the fake field goal that was really well run, and, you forced him to blow a timeout before this one. So you blow 2 timeouts here, and Womack and Perk are able to get around the edge here and force this sack. A lot better job right here by Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo keeping their pass rush lane integrity, so he couldn't just take off right here. Wingo would just get off there, and Mason would just get off there, and then that's just a really good play by Womack, finishing the play after his helmet falls off. That is just really, really good stuff. All right, Denbrock was just really good, okay? We bring in Caleb Jackson. They're thinking Caleb is going to get the carry. I'm sure that they saw on film when Caleb Jackson did what he did versus Mississippi State. So guess what? Instead of just giving the football, let's get Jaden out in space, and they just bit for it so bad. And we get a nice chunk run play on first down, and this juke by Jaden is just nasty right there on McGlothern, and he's able to fall forward for all those extra yardage. Okay, this is just really good quarterbacking by Jaden. And look, Jaden had a really rough first half. This is just good stuff, okay? Sees a blitz coming off the edge. Look at this protection. Look at that. And then he sees McGlothern is this far off of Mason Taylor. And we're just going to play pitch and catch all day, okay? Bang. Okay, look at all this green grass right here. We give Mason an opportunity to make a play after the catch, and we pick up a first down. All right, so now we're actually running with Caleb right here, and this is, the pass lightening things up for the run, okay? And we're actually outnumbered in this box right here. Good job by Will getting to the second level to get a piece right here. Bang, okay? Now, was this a good run by Caleb Jackson? Yes, really good stuff. Good double right here on this defensive tackle. I just want you to see this right here by Will again. Okay, his job right here is to let this in, just fire up field, and then just get to the second level to the backer. Okay, the next step right here for Caleb Jackson, press this hole right here and then bounce. It's definitely in his repertoire, but look at him just run through this arm tackle right here by two people. We're able to pick up a nice gain. Good stuff right there by Caleb Jackson. Little bit of a giveaway. You could kind of tell right here that we are pulling with how far back our guard is right here. Look, our guard is actually behind our tackle right here. So it's pretty clear we're pulling, and there's just nothing there for Caleb. So Caleb has to bounce this, and look at this. He's able to make this safety actually not get a clean piece, and just the power to fall through. These runs in a very small sample have been very, very, very impressive. All right, so we bring Logan Diggs back in. It's a too-high look. We need to be able to run on this 5-man box, and I want you to see it, okay? This is just excellent stuff right here by Will. Will was so good tonight. Garrett Dellinger also really good. Look at this job by Deli on this defensive tackle. But I want you to see this as well. Logan seeing that this cut right here is open. It's just so clear that Logan Diggs is our best, most complete back up to this point. And he's able to break through these tackles and fall forward for a nice gain. All right, one thing LSU has struggled with is throwing the football into the end zone in the red zone, okay? So to combat that, what we need to do is throw it before the receivers actually get into the end zone. And this is an excellent call right here by Mike Denbrock, okay? One thing that BYU had success with versus Arkansas is these delayed routes to just whoever, okay? So Malik has to slow his route right here so he gives Mason Taylor time to clear out. Something else about just starting slow, look, Malik is actually just walking, is if you're not really active, defenders will just forget about you, okay? So, right here, this bracket is to bracket Malik, but instead of just running Malik on a go, let's see if they bracket Mason Taylor, okay? They do on the go, all right? Landon Jackson, a defensive end, sinks into coverage because this blitzer is coming from this angle, okay? Landon loses Malik because he was just walking, right? So Landon just sinks right here. This is really good stuff by Jaden to eventually find Malik. Good job by Malik waving his arms up in the air, letting him know he's open. And look at that. Look at all the space. That's Denbrock, folks, and a really good route by Malik. And look at that. Excellent, excellent, excellent stuff. Second time one of our guys is hop skipping into the end zone. Beautiful. All right, so this has been a very weird spot for LSU. The first play coming out of a quarter, okay? So I thought Jordan Jefferson had a pretty solid night. But overall, we get a good rush right here by Braden Swinson. Like I said, their offensive linemen versus BYU in the second half, they spent more time on the ground than anyone else. Good job by our defensive line just staying relentless. Okay, so they ruled this incomplete. We can have a debate whether it's incomplete or not. But anytime the ball is on the ground, pick it up. Okay, so we just just let it sit there. Okay, always pick it up. Doesn't matter who, where, because that could be a fumble. Pick it up. It's just sitting there. And then finally, Zy Alexander has the right decision to come pick it up. Just always pick it up. There's no harm in that at all. All right, so here's the 3rd and 6. So KJ Jefferson runs a QB draw, and now it's 3rd and 6. So it was 2nd and 20, 3rd and 6, and this was a big touchdown. First thing here is we do get a little unlucky in that KJ actually had something open right here, okay? This ball could get fit in right here for a first down, or what you could do is if you think Sage Ryan is going to, rip down in here, if you throw this football to a 6'6 wide receiver right here, you might be able to squeeze that in for a first down. But KJ said, no, I'm going to go try and make a play, and he decides to roll out to the right side. Okay? Now, rolling out to the right is probably not the smartest thing in the world to do because he only has a running back and a tight end over here. Okay? But Haas, the tight end, does a good job right here to just turn upfield, and Zy Alexander just kind of lets him go. Okay? His eyes getting caught in the backfield, and that's just not good. Okay? Now, KJ, of course, extending the play allows that to happen, but Zy Alexander, you just can't let that happen. And now it's a touchdown. So once again, I was sitting right up here. It was so unfreaking believably loud. So I was sitting right up here. It was so freaking unbelievably loud. And guess what? Brady Latham, who committed 4 penalties last week, commits another false start. Okay? Now, I'm looking at you. Okay. So, this is where I was sitting. Tell me where you were sitting. Point yourself out. Or were you watching from your couch? Such a beautiful place. You could see how loud it was in there. And, yeah, this is the worst defensive rep I've seen of LSU football this season. The first thing here is I don't like showing blitz. This is a 2-point conversion try. Now, did LSU think that there would be a false start that would knock this all the way back? No. But in this situation, force them with a do-or-die kind of play here to actually throw the football into the end zone. Instead, we just have one player basically at the goal line, and what we decide to do, instead of just blitzing right here, we actually just drop back into coverage, okay? The guys that are going out on the route is a tight end, a wide receiver, Isaac Tesla, the slot receiver, and this guy I think is running like a flat route and so on and so on. Believe it or not, on 4th and 7, okay, 2-point conversion try essentially, do or die play, 3 people get open versus 7. Doesn't make any sense, okay? The guy that KJ ends up throwing this football to is number 9 right here, Luke Haas, okay? If you're Harold Perkins, okay, we could just sit all day and say, hey, we need to keep him at the edge or whatever. This is honestly just very simple, okay? True freshman making this mistake, no big deal. But in this situation, you have got to carry with this tight end. If you know that You can't give up a touchdown here. You've got to go with them. Okay? And once again, it's all on how you're taught. If Matt House in this situation says always just let this guy go, then you have to let him go. It's just how you're taught. But I think right here, Perk, you've got to carry with them. Okay? And that right there is just so freaking easy. Who cares if they throw it right here? Okay? And then look at that. Very simple. All right? Now, what's very interesting is if you bring it back to about right here, Armstrong also gets open. He's going up against a guy by the name of Denver Harris here. Once again, it's late. I'm losing all my brain cells. Bang! Armstrong would have been open on a top shelf throw right here. Okay? And then, let's bring it back again. Isaac Tesla gets open. Bang! Okay, now that ball would have had to have been thrown right then and there. But three guys, the only three guys that even ran routes into the end zone, actually got into the end zone pretty easily, and it was just pitch and catch. Man, Mike, once again, just excellent stuff. We started running the football really well. So guess what? If you start running the football really well, this little split zone action just becomes even more potent, okay? And guess what? All Jaden has to do is just throw the football right here to Mason Taylor, and bang, okay? Look at all this room for him to run, and we pick up a huge explosive play. And on the play before, Malik Nabers drew a massive holding penalty. So their defense is tired. They played a long game last week versus BYU, and we are out of bounds right there. Alrighty, so I doubt Mike Denbrock watches PHL. He's a busy man. But on the Wednesday film study, I begged him to run this play. So this was the first play of the season for LSU. So BTJ is running a go. Malik is running a go. And their job is to draw all this coverage with them. And what we're actually doing is running a tight end leak play with a running back wheel behind it. And the point of this is to throw to whichever one is open. Okay, so Jaden right here rolls out to the right side, and it's clear that the linebacker is running with John Emery. And look at this, okay? All we need Jaden to do is just hit Mason in stride. Look at all this green grass right here, okay? And he's not only able to catch this, he can pin the sideline. And all John Emery has to do is just keep running because 28 is in man coverage trailing him, okay? I also wouldn't have minded a throw to John Emery over the top, but you just got to hit this right here in stride. This is probably getting down to at least the 10-yard line. And I knew this was going to be open because Arkansas plays such an aggressive style of defense. God, I know Denbrock had been waiting to run this play. And this is a good sign for Mike as a play caller, saving some plays that he knows are going to work in crunch time that Arkansas had not seen up to this point in the game. So really, really, really good stuff. So what does Mike do? All right. So your really good play call didn't work. Okay. So on 3rd and 6, a lot like what LSU did last year, they ran the football when they had a favorable look. Okay. They're thinking you are going to throw. No, you are running. Okay. And guess what? They actually had a decent call, right? They had the safety jump it into the box. Hudson Clark, he over pursues it. Safety, that's a huge missed tackle right there, and a nice run by Logan Diggs to pick it up. I love LSU's commitment to running on 3rd and medium, right? It honestly won us the SEC West last year with some of Josh Williams' runs on 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 7. Alrighty, essentially the play of the game, you get the holding penalty, and once again, this is just pretty simple stuff if you are Jaden Daniels, okay? You're throwing this football to Malik Nabers. Now, You know it's man coverage because 15, normally an outside corner, is now playing the slot. We get Malik on him versus a slot, and this is just easy stuff. You can see Malik is just burning right by him. Good job by the protection just across the way. And just look at where this ball is placed by Jaden Daniels. Look at all the separation by Malik. And he leads him perfect. Back right corner of the end zone. Touchdown. All right, here we go. It's 3rd and 9. I love the scouting by LSU to have Wingo go up against our offensive tackles because of the bull rush, right? Last week versus BYU, they got tired. And this bull rush by Mekhi Wingo is really good. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more on this side. Good stuff by Mason right here to just stay in the rush lane. We don't want KJ to be able to pick it up with his legs. Okay, so there's just nowhere to go. So what does KJ do? Okay, he eventually waits for the running back to pop open, and he just kind of floats it right over Perk's leaping body, and the Binion just got to make one guy miss, and you pick up the first down, okay? I mean, what really could you do defensively there? I guarantee you I have an angle of it. There was nothing open for KJ to throw the football to. They just made a good play. I didn't mind the defensive call right there. It's just, you know, if they're going to make plays like that, it's just going to be tough. Yeah, the coverage just became so bad in the second half. So Chestnut got beat for a touchdown, and a holding call called it back. So this is the first play after the holding call. You know, anytime, and I would love to take a look at the yard per play and EPA numbers of when we actually have Ovia Gufu or Jack going into the flat. It just seems like we've given up so many big plays when we do that. Let's have him rushing off the edge, okay? We bring a simulated pressure here. You know, he drops out, and we're bringing Whit Weeks here, and it just gets picked up, okay? Nobody's beating blocks. We got a bunch of backup defensive linemen in here, and this pocket is just way too clean, all right? The concept is pretty simple. They're running a post here, and all you got to do is just run a little out behind it. So we're basically flooding the left side of this field, and that's just an easy throw for KJ to make right here into the space, okay? It's just too easy. Look at all that green grass right there. Arkansas commits a couple more penalties. I mean, their offensive line is starting to fall apart. And Braden Swinson, I mean, look, they are just getting lifted off the ground. Good job by Swinson turning the corner right here. Give Major Burns a lot of credit in this spot with some really good coverage right here. He eventually does turn his head. Look, he is stride for stride here with Tesla. He turns his head and makes a really good play. I mean, it would have taken an absolute perfect throw for that ball to be completed. So here it goes, 3rd and 18. This is essentially the roughing the passer call. So obviously Harold Perkins is, you know, QB spying right here. Love the call for the QB spy simply because of this, okay? If we are getting home with just our edge guys versus the tackle, okay, just have Mason Smith kind of play center field right here. And look at this. What did I tell you in the BYU game? These guys get put on their rear ends. Okay, so Mekhi Wingo puts him on his rear end. Swinson puts him on his rear end. And we're collapsing. We totally collapsed his pocket. So Mason Smith is getting triple team. We have one-on-ones to the outside here. So now all we need to do is Perk to pick up these scraps, okay? They call a roughing the passer penalty here, which was total BS. But also in this spot right here, okay, if you're Perk, I would say just let up, okay? All right, I know it's tough to let up, all right? I just think once you see him throwing right here, just stop or just catch him, okay? They're going to say that's excessive because he led with the helmet right there, and then there was the push off right there. It also kind of looked like he hit the helmet. He really didn't. It kind of just swiped to the side of him. It's unnecessary if you ask me. I know it's stupid. It shouldn't have been called. But it looked like roughing, especially if he's going to sell it too. And he really didn't sell it. You just can't let him make that call. Especially if he's rolling out here on 3rd and 18, okay? 1st and 10 early in the game, fine. But make them have to make a 3rd and 18, okay? No need to, get this shot off, okay? Is it harmless? Is it clean? Yes, it's both those things. Swallow the whistle in that spot. But you also could have avoided it, right? Because let's force him to throw that 3rd and 18 throw. We know he's going to throw it. We know he's not going to try and outrun you there. All right, this is just not good from the LSU defense at all, okay? Split zone action. Once again, it's essentially what we do with Mason Taylor, and they showed this on the film versus BYU. They've shown this on the film just throughout. It's pretty simple, and what Arkansas does to make it more difficult is they do it at a 12 personnel. So they have a tight end here, and then the tight end just kind of just comes right behind it. And I don't know if Ovi should be running with Haas right here, but we just kind of let Haas go. And that's just, in the red zone. In the red zone, folks, where the field is compressed, you just can't do that. You just can't, okay? And that's an easy touchdown. It's an easy touchdown. All right, here we go. The biggest play of the game. This was a play that LSU ended up hitting a little bit later. First thing I love about this is we're getting Malik Nabers in motion, putting him in the slot. And now we get the matchup versus Hudson Clark, who has perpetually been burned in his career. We get a little chip to help Emory Jones because this is a longer developing play. Chris Hilton is running a go right here. And obviously we are high-lowing this defender right here, okay? So Jaden looks off, and then he knows Malik is going to be open towards the sideline. Hudson Clark let him go, and then this is really good protection across the way. Good job by Will versus Landon Jackson. And look at this throw. When we really freaking needed it. Good throw by Jaden, and good stuff overall by LSU. So we move ahead to this 3rd and 4, and it's just Malik Nabers again. It's unbelievable at this point, okay? We have to have this down. And remember, we had that 3rd and 6 run earlier, so you can't really double him. You know we like to run on 3rd and medium and plus territory. So Jaden immediately goes to Malik, and this is just the comeback route, man. This has been the Jaden Malik bread and butter play. And the funny thing about it here is I want you to see 6. He actually, this is Emory Jones. He actually pursues it, and Emory just kind of misses him. And because Malik and Jaden have such good chemistry, comeback route, it's so difficult. Malik isn't actually the biggest body receiver, but he positions so well against White McGlothern. First down to keep things going. Here's Jake Flint. Look at that. Once again, Jaden Daniels in the 4th quarter going towards this end zone is money. Versus Mississippi State last year versus Alabama. This is just money stuff, okay? I want you to see when he's actually throwing this football, y'all. This is really good quarterback play, okay? Jaden is not the most anticipatory quarterback in the world. Look at when he is deciding to throw this, okay? That is trust in your receiver right there. It's 3rd down. Gotta have it. Bang. Good stuff. Okay, LSU knows that Arkansas burned all their timeouts during that fake field goal drive. They burned 2 of the 3. And once again, it's Jaden Daniels' ability to run holding this defensive end right here. And he can't help Logan Diggs. Good block, 2nd level right here, Mason Taylor. And Logan just gets skinny and gets through this hole right here. And it's just a nasty run. It's just such a nasty run right there by Logan. Good job just fighting through this to pick up the first down. All right, so I thought Brian Kelly handled this last portion of this game pretty well. If you're Arkansas, you got to let him score here. You just do, okay? You've got to let them score. You have no timeouts left. At that point, someone needed to let and look, this is Giovanni Peterson who got the walk-on scholarship earlier this week. You've just got to let him score.